Welcome. Well, I shouldn't say. Well, I should say welcome, but I shouldn't say my normal pickup line to current situation at Manchester United. But I would just say this. Hope you guys are enjoying the rest of your day. It's a good Thursday morning, at least on my end. It's kind of sunny. It's been a funny week so far because I'm gonna tell some of my personal business. A few persons know this on Twitter, so to them it won't be anything new under the sun. But I'm gonna just mention it anyway. Um, I'm. I don't think you guys are aware, so I'll just say it. I'm on a fat loss phase, right? Trying to lose some body fat. Trying to good and crispy for the summer. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I'm getting to the forefront of my phase, meaning that I'm getting to the end of my phase. So I have to keep pushing. I have to keep clean, eat clean, stay clean, and train clean. You know what I mean? And since Sunday, well, on Monday and Tuesday, up until yesterday, well, I ate yesterday, but Monday and Tuesday I didn't eat anything, no ounce of calories or the light of day. But I wouldn't say the light of day because I don't think inside my stomach or inside my body has any light post or anything or a lighthouse, so I shouldn't say that. But I might just say this: no ounce of calorie went through my gullet or in my system, none. If anything, it's just water, workout, quite an intensive workout, and I mean, it's enough said that to have an intense workout, even when you're eating, is it's hard. But to do it on an empty stomach in a fasted or starving state, that takes the cake for me, bro. I mean, but I lived through it. I didn't die. Some of you guys need to starve for like not starve, but fast for 2 to 3 days. Do some intermittent fasting, some warrior shredding fasting, not eating for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Trust and believe your body won't die. It might the blood sugar might spike up and spike down, but you won't die. If anything, your body, since if it doesn't have any food in the system, or it doesn't have any glycogen in your muscles or in your liver stored, there's one place it's going to get that energy, and it's from under here. So, well, obviously I don't have any under mine, but it's going to use body fat as energy. So that's the good part of it. The bad part is that you have to suffer a little bit. Just imagine yourself on a deserted island or the wilderness and drink water on an intensive workout by like walking all day for 2 days straight. That's not easy, is it? Just think bringing this full flow to Manchester United, right? This is a Manchester United channel. Um, yeah, I've been doing Mourinho, Mourinho's time at Manchester United. My previous two podcasts, or previous podcasts. Um, but I plan to do a series of players with their time at Manchester United, players that had, whether good or bad, I've made the effort to do their time at Manchester United in a series, time at Manchester United series. I want you guys to list the players that you want me to going on, like players that used to play for Manchester United, their time at Manchester United, and just break shit down. Um, I wanted to do LVG's time at Manchester United, but I just didn't feel motivated to do it because just nah. But today I'm going to up highlight and examine Robin van Persie's time at Manchester United. Van Persie. Yeah, I'm going to evaluate and examine his time at Manchester United, which was a brief period at Manchester United. Actually, it wasn't that long. Okay, let's just get started into it. So, of course, Manchester United in the 2011-2012 season was looking to win the Premier League. They were, of course, in the top three, and at the end of that season, Wayne Rooney was the top scorer for Manchester United in all competitions and in Premier League with 34 goals for Manchester United. The funny thing is that Rooney didn't really play as the main striker. You had Javier Hernandez playing as the main striker, but Rooney played as the centre forward in behind Javier Hernandez, and Berbatov was washing up. Michael Owen wasn't playing that much. Welbeck was a squad work player, meaning that he was one of the strikers that would come in if one of the main strikers was injured. Um, so that season, without getting lengthy, Manchester United didn't win the league, and there were questions to be asked because during that season, despite Manchester United almost winning the league, there were players that needed to leave the club, particularly strikers like Michael Owen needed to leave. Berbatov needed to leave because he wasn't at it in that season. Only Rooney and even Rooney was washing up. Let us be let For you objective guys, you guys need to be objective and honest. Rooney was taking his last breath at a top tier level as a footballer. He wasn't staying up there for a long period of time. Yes, he clocked 34 goals in our competition that season, but his play was he start part to a degree. Let us be honest, he start part to a degree, and Manchester United players were moaning. And since they missed out on the title by a player known to be as Sergio Aguero for Manchester City, who the club that snatched the title for Manchester United was Manchester City, they won the Premier League. That was Man City, and Manchester United lost on goal difference, I believe. Yes, they lost on goal difference. And I honestly believe that if Manchester United didn't lose 6-1 at Old Trafford earlier that season to Man City, I think Manchester United would have won that that um that season, win the league. Not really comfortably, but they would have won the league regardless. But Manchester United fans saying that they needed a strong striker in terms of prowess, not necessarily physical prowess, but technical prowess. They needed a Lewandowski. They needed yeah, I think Lewandowski was linked to Manchester United at the time. Um, Van Persie was linked. Speaking of Van Persie, that season Van Persie was a hot prospect in England because he netted 30 goals in the Premier League for Arsenal, and Arsenal was being Arsenal as usual. But he netted 30 goals in the Premier League alone, and brought them to Champions League football, I believe. And yeah, yes, Rooney was one of the top scorers in Premier League, but Van Persie superseded Rooney. And yeah, Van Persie, since he didn't win the Premier League with Arsenal, I mean, Arsenal haven't touched the Premier League since 2004. So, I mean, but his claim of fame was that he wanted to win silverware, he wanted to win titles, he wanted to win trophies, legitimate trophies. And of course, he became a contract rebel. Arsenal wanted to renew his contract, but Van Persie was like, "Nah, bro, I don't want to renew my contract with you because you're not giving me any titles. I'm playing very good for your club, but no food is coming off it. So why should I continue to play for your club when you're not winning me any trophies?" And that could be due to lack of investment in the squad, lack of ambition. But Van Persie called it a day at Arsenal because Arsenal fans wanted, when they saw the behavior of Van Persie, they wanted him out, and they got what they wanted. But to some of their surprise, they didn't expect him to leave. They thought they could put him in the scarcity mindset, like, "Oh, we'll replace a striker, then just leave, man, just leave." It's like that little child, when you're a little child and your mother don't give you what you want, or your father don't give you what you want. You say, "Hey, I'm leaving this house if you don't give me what you want. I'm leaving this house if you don't give me what I want." And the parents is like, "Okay, goodbye." "I'm serious, mommy. I'm serious. I'll leave." "Okay, all right. I'll pack your stuff. I'll get your toothbrush. I'll get your clothes. Go ahead. Just say what you want." I said, "I'm serious, mommy. I'm not playing." That's what they would say in a nutshell. But to their surprise, Van Persie did actually leave. And some of them were frustrated, but hey, I mean, they wanted the most. So, I mean, but Sir Alex Ferguson wanted to invest in his squad, and Van Persie was that again. I don't want this video to be longer than 30 minutes. I want to do it in a part one, part two fashion on formation. So Van Persie was heavily linked to a few other clubs, but Manchester United in particular. And Sir Alex Ferguson tabooed or seduced Van Persie to sign for Manchester United for which was a great bargain actually at the time. 22 million euros, I believe, or 20 million pounds. Yeah, 20 he came to Manchester United because people were saying Rooney has lost his legs. He couldn't play up top anymore. And Javi Hernandez is like a bench striker at best. And we needed to challenge for the title. So they got a world class striker in Robin van Persie. And in the first few games, it wasn't as not for Van Persie, but for the Manchester United squad because again, the squad was aging. It wasn't. It was coming of age, and players were getting old. When you think of Rio Ferdinand, look at Nemanja Vidic, Evra, Skulls. Skulls came back from retirement. Carrick was getting on a bit. Rooney was getting on a bit. Giggs, oh boy, Giggs was like touching his mid to late 30s or something. So we needed to unlock him a retirement room down the road. Um, and Nani was out of form. Nani was so inconsistent. Valencia was decent. The squad was not great, but with the addition of Van Persie, it kind of gave a moral boost to the squad. But surprisingly enough, in their first game, Manchester United. Hold on a second, let me check something real quick. Manchester United against not Fulham, against Everton away from home, lost to they wait they lost wait Manchester United lost Everton in the first game, and I think it's their loss on an opening day since 2004. Funny enough, Arsenal won the league in 2004, but that's a different story. Um, so yeah, they lost to Marwan Fellaini's header, which would claim to be Marwan Fellaini's last season at Everton, but that's like enough said. And yeah, they lost. And in the second game against Fulham at home, Manchester United was down through Damien Duff. And of course, Van Persie came up with the equaliser with a very good cross on Patrice Evra on that left hand side. And Van Persie just volleys it as he usually does. And it was an equaliser. And I think Manchester United won that game. Yeah, I believe United won that game. I think Raphael scored or Kagawa scored. Um, so yeah, Van Persie was getting goals. He scored against let me see. Yes, Manchester United was trailing again against Southampton away from home. I think Ricky Lambert scored a goal which was Mauricio Pochettino's side at the time, and the Southampton took the lead against Manchester United. And of course, big man, of course, stepped up to the plate with a good cross from a Valencia into the box, and Van Persie volleys it as usually does, and it was 1-1. And in the second half, Manchester United were trailing again. And of course, Van Persie equalized with a rebound thrown from the post, Fernanda with the header at the near post, and Van Persie rebounded with a poacher's finish. And in the last dimensions of the game, Manchester United with a cross from Luis Nani, Van Persie headed it home, which would calculate and clock his first Premier League hat-trick for Manchester United through Van Persie. And it was that's when Manchester United knew that their squad wasn't up to par, even though they had a world-class striker in their dwelling and in their presence and in their midst. But I mean, Van Persie was like a pretty beautiful algae in a puddle of mud. That's what it was. Like how you have a bag of mud in a cup or outside, and you just see a beautiful, with respect for the players at Manchester United, but to keep shit real, bro, Van Persie was like that algae, that lightning in that mud. He was like the spark in that mud. That's what he was for that squad. So may say that it was just a first season, so he had passion, he had the loves to do well at Manchester United, and people think that in season two, season three, season four, that passion would wane, and that might be true. But we are getting there, right? It's a journey. Let us go there in peace. So Van Persie saved Manchester United again in the Premier League against Southampton, and in the Champions League, Manchester United away. I don't remember the side. I don't ever think there are said that should be mentioned because I think they were Euro side at this, but they were in Champions League at some point. Manchester United was trailing again in the Champions League away from home, and Van Persie netted a brace, I believe. Van Persie was the savior, and I think he got Player of the Month for Manchester United. Not in the Premier League overall, but for Manchester United, he got Player of the Month. Um, of course, Manchester United was trailing again to Spurs. I think Van Persie made an impact with an assist to Kagawa. Manchester United lost that game to Spurs. I mean, Spurs just twist and turn Manchester United, especially with the prowess player in his prime, that was Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale just went through Manchester United's defense like a hot butter, a hot knife through butter. I mean, they just couldn't keep up with his pace. And yeah, so again, Manchester United played against, I believe it was Stoke City at home, and Van Persie netted a good goal. Of course, people were saying, yeah, Van Persie was proven to be a world class sign for Manchester United. And of course, Van Persie was getting assists as well. And I think something's on my lip or something. I think that's like whenever the time is cold, so it just get crispy and choppy. Hold on a second. Mm, there you go. All right. So Van Persie and Manchester United played against Stamford Bridge in the Premier League, not in the Capital One Cup, because United lost that one. But I'm talking about Premier League and Van Persie. So Van Persie netted, I think he netted two goals, or one was clocked as an away goal. Not an away, well, it was an away goal, but no, it wasn't an away goal. It was an away game, but it was an away goal. It was an own goal, I should have said, through David Luiz. Always scoring own goals, David Luiz. Never change. It should have been Van Persie's goal, but he hit off Van Persie and went off through David Luiz. And then Van Persie with a right foot finish from Valencia's cross down right hand side, as usual. Finished it. And Van Persie was scoring goals. He was in scoring form. Um, in the Champions League, he scored a goal from like 35 yards. I think the keeper was off his line, so he had some courage to that. Van Persie, I mean, we do we think of the goals to Van Persie, and the reason why I'm doing this video is because today's April 23 on Thursday, April 23, and we think of what happened April 22, 2013. I was at high school. I was in high school. I rather be in high school or be at high school. I was in high school at the time, and I was talking to a few of my mates that were Manchester United supporters, and we were saying, man, and this was the 22nd. I believe it was the 23rd. Cause I think it was a Monday. I think it was a Monday. Because it was the first day of school that week, as most schools do. And usually we get together before school starts and talk about football, the Premier League, and particularly Manchester United news. And they would say, bro, and this was the 22nd. We were talking about the game against Aston Villa at home. which would win Manchester United the Premier League if they won that game. And we're talking about, bro, did you see Van Persie's volley, fam? Did you see Van Persie's hat trick? I mean, in the first half, I mean, Manchester United was going full throttle, man, on Aston Villa, man. And they say, yeah, Van Persie was very clinical that day. I mean, look at his volley and the pass from Wayne Rooney. I mean, that was world class, fam. So I'm doing this video to honor the goal and the hat trick of Van Persie pretty much 7 years ago. 7 years ago, which would, yeah, 7 years ago, and a day in, of course. Yeah, Van Persie, what would we do without Van Persie? I mean, Van Persie netted 26 goals in the Premier League that season. Rooney was getting his goals there. Kagawa got his few goals there. Valencia didn't score much goals. Valencia is not that type of player. Um, and in the Champions League, Van Persie was netting goals, and in the Premier League, most of all, he was just saving our skins coming back from behind. We think of Newcastle against Manchester United at home at Old Trafford. Newcastle taking the league through Demba Ba. I think it was Papa Cisse or Demba Ba. But Manchester United just coming from behind. We think of Arsenal. Manchester Van Persie scored a goal against Arsenal. I mean, Van Persie that season that won the league for Manchester United, he was a world class player. He was a very, very good player. And this is where I'm going to end because this is part one. I don't want to get into the second and third season of Van Persie. I'm going to leave that for part two. But let's just reminisce on the time of Van Persie's time in his first season. He was just world class. I mean, Van Persie wasn't the fastest striker on the land of the living, but what he did on the land of the living, he was very technical. He had a high Q. He could play midfield, attacking midfield mostly, and he could play anywhere in the forward line. Because you have to remember, Van Persie used to play as a left wing under Arsene Wenger pre 2000, in the mid 2000s, like 2007 to 2005 to 2007. Then with the emergence, not emergence, but with the with Thierry Henry leaving, Adebayor and Van Persie were became like clinical strikers for Arsenal. So you have to remember that Van Persie is well endowed in the attacking third. Can play right wing, attacking midfield, of course as a striker, and he could play as a left winger as well. But in his first season for Manchester United, just clocking in goals and that hat trick against Manchester. Yeah, speaking of Manchester, United a 90th minute winning goal at Man City at the Etihad Stadium from a free kick. That was kind of deflected, but it was a goal regardless. Very good goal from Robin van Persie, and we think of the goals, man, against Liverpool, which would add to his 20th goal, which would add to his kick number, which was 20. And yeah, speaking of the kick number, I think Van Persie wanted the number 20 as his kit number because he was saying he believed he could win Manchester United the league, and he did. And that talk about elite mentality, bro. Van Persie was just a striker that, and I believe Van Persie should have joined Manchester United way sooner. I mean, there are a handful of players that we could say Manchester United should have. There are some players that came to Manchester United at a later age and a later stage that we would say, boy, if Manchester United signed them earlier, they would be hell of a great player. We think of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, we think of Van Persie, we think of Henrik Larsson, we think of who else, who else, who else, who else, who else? Um, Edwin van der Sar. We think of a lot of players, bro. You know, Van Persie in his first season, bro. And again, leave your comments my comment section down below. Comment section down below on your thoughts on Van Persie's first season. Do not comment on the second season, third season. I'll reserve and designate that for part two, and I'll do his second and third season part two. So just comment in the comment section down below on his first season alone. Again, just comment on his first season. That's it. If it was a world class season, of course it was a world class season, but there are some pigheads that believe he could have done better. So leave your comments down below in the comment section. I mean, Van Persie was very good in that season, bro. I cannot I cannot emphasize that or rehash that enough. He was just, some were saying that he should have worn the number 7 to get from Antonio Valencia. But I think the number 20 suited him more, bro. Suited him more, bro. What a play for Manchester United. But things were about to take a turn for the worse for Robin Van Persie in the upcoming season for Manchester United. Stick with me and stay with me as we explore and not ignore his second season and his third season for Manchester United. Enjoy the rest of your week. Stay safe. Peace.